Hello everyone, my name is Naya. I am doing a Magica Nightblade Ganker build, and this build is a caster, and it uses two staffs instead of my previous build, which was a dual wield and resto build. This build will still rely on our clay range proc, and soul harvest, and some penetration. These sets together have a really interesting mix. In my experience so far, it's been really good. I have a few videos up on my channel which show me using it and how interesting it is. Generally, for skills, you want to have some of these slotted. Each of these can be different depending on your personal preference. You can actually take fear off of your bar and put in a light fear. That is a highly viable choice. Personally, I don't do that because I'm an absolute whore for fear. I like being able to deal with perma blockers, but I'm wearing Zans. This shreds through perma blockers. It shreds through anyone, let's just be honest, but it shreds through perma blockers, so you don't have to worry about them quite as much. Shade is used for obvious reasons. If you need Magic Nightblade, you will need to learn how to use this skill in order to survive most of the time, because you cannot just rely on Cloak. There are a lot of things in this game that break Cloak. Things that are both intended to break Cloak and things that are not intended to break Cloak, because this game is, buggy, as most games. On the back bar we have Cloak, a very common skill in Magic Nightblades. Refreshing Path. This is a choice that I made. I like this skill. It's a very nice skill. It gives me major expedition. I can do this on run. It's another way in which I get major resolve and major ward. These help me survive. I'm a Magic Nightblade. I'm really fucking squishy. Give me a Healing Ward. This is a very unique skill in that it uses spell damage and max magic to calculate its outcome. I jokingly refer to it as a defensive spammable. If we're going on the defensive, we want to make sure our buffs are up, keep Healing Ward up, make sure we have our sustain ability up, which is Siphoning Attacks. Siphoning Attacks is a very nice healing skill, as it will actually heal us on every hit. So if you see in the corner my combat metrics, it's healing for about 1.5k. That'll be reduced to, well, assuming you don't have to file like 600, 700, that's really nice to stack on top of your Refreshing Path and Funnel Health skills. It also returns a lot of max magic. It's one of the best sustain skills in the game, in that you can keep it mobile, and that it heals you too. As for best sustain skill, it would probably be Templar's channel focus, but that's a very stationary skill. Now we have Mark for the obvious reason of it gives us a debuff, which increases our damage by both our proc and our skills. That's a really useful thing. Now, we have this second effect under where it says Breach. It says you can detect marked enemies. That's really fucking helpful with the amount of botards that are on Cyrodiil recently. It's stupidly helpful, honestly. I don't feel bad about using it on Magic Nightblade because this is how Magic Nightblade can get Breach and all that other shit. So I am totally cool with Magic Nightblade using this. What I really hate is when you have Stamblades using this skill. I hate that so much. If you're like a bow sniper build, then okay. I'll let you use it because you probably need the help. Otherwise, I really hate it when Stamblades use this skill. Don't be that kind of person. But there is merit in it for Stamblades too, unfortunately, because look at where it says under the protected part, you'll see you heal for 41% of your max health. Go over a bit and says, when a marked enemy dies. If I kill someone who is marked, I get a really nice burst heal. So this is an absolutely excellent skill. If we're looking for a weak enemy, marking it, jumping in, no matter how many enemies are around it, as long as you make that kill, you're going to be able to heal up, dodge roll maybe, and cloak away. You're alive. That happens sometimes. It's not a perfect strategy, but it can work. Now, because of the sets we are using, Clarion's, as you may notice, does not have a max magic bonus. Neither does Transmutation. This leaves our max magic at a rather low level, which is part of why I do not at all recommend using Harness, or the base skill, Annulment. I personally use Dampen because I like having the extra protection, and I can afford the extra cost most of the time with my often used open world build. But with Transmutation, it gives us a nice regen statistic, plus it makes us extremely tanky. Little trick here. Transmutation as proc. That is a lot of crit resistance. That makes us very, very durable for a ganker build, and yet we still have viable amounts of sustain. Every now and then, you may have to pull off a heavy attack or two, which is kind of expected because we are playing a low sustain build, but it's a little bit more viable on this build because we are far away from our enemy, ideally. While we do want to be able to close the distance so we can use Zons, so we can use Soul Harvest, we typically want to be a farther distance away. Now, Flame Punch has a very interesting CC. This CC works similarly to how the CC on Incap does. A lot of people bitch about Incap being overpowered. Well, yes, but only if you don't know how to counter it. The issue with Incap, as is the issue with this CC, is that you get knocked back. Let's see if it works on a dummy. It does not work on a dummy. It used to. Well, when you knock back an opponent, they can't really do anything for like 0.5 seconds. I haven't actually timed it, but that's around where it is. Incap is a knockdown, which is an even weirder version of a knockback. In that time, you can't do anything. You can't even CC break. Javelin has a similar function, although Javelin is a bit less buggy when you CC break. However, if you don't CC break, it throws you back a bit more. Now, this allows us to fight our enemy while they have no counters up. We can quite literally come out from stealth, do that, hit Soul Harvest, and then get off to finish them off. Probably we're going to be using Brim, because I'm actually really adept with using Brim. One of the main points of this build is that you will not be required to use Brim to succeed. It is only one of your, let's say like 3 tools that you can use to burst an opponent down. However, if you do not use Grim very well, why are you playing a Magic Nightblade to begin? Now, of course, if you're not very good at using Grim, this isn't a bad build to kind of use to learn it. It's range, so it's not melee. You're not punished for having shitty weaving skills like me, where you have to hold down and heavy attack to try and get anything at a distance. It's always a pain if you're snared out of your mind and you cannot weave, which is why melee is really, really crappy. On top of that, Concealed costs a lot of magic and doesn't do a hell of a lot more damage than full health. We do hit fairly higher numbers though, but our defensive capacity is pretty shitty. Now, we'll go over the gear more specifically. I have these as in pen for the most part. That's Divines because I'm lazy and I don't have transmute crystals, so, fuck me. Most of this is in pen because you want to have your in pen at about this mark, but because we're using transmutation, we could get away with lower in pen. This would leave us susceptible to burst though, because we don't always have this proc up. We could get taken out fairly quickly if we go caught with our pants down. But if you feel like you're doing a lot of dodge rolling, and maybe you want a little bit of a bigger shield, you could run an infused chest plate, chest piece. And you can run more well fitted, like I have 1, 2 well fitted, because I do a lot of sprinting, I do a lot of dodging, and as a ganky build, you tend to do a little bit of dodging regardless of if you're Magicka or Stamina. So there is merit in making choices. These are personalized choices. For ultimates, we have Light's Champion, Soul Harvest. Light's Champion is a very good defensive ultimate. I use it to get out of tough situations all the time. Soul Harvest is a very potent damage booster. it boosts our clearance legacy proc. So when we're coming at it from a distance, you want to mark your target, make sure you have your buffs up, hit your potion, and I like to open with a heavy attack. You don't have to, just take a bit of extra damage. Then you hit that. You want to make sure that you get your Flame Clench out, do maybe 1 to 3 funnel weaves depending on your range, and then your clearing will proc. Clearance is a very slow travel time. If you're coming out of it from stealth, like this, just refresh my buffs. You want to hit that, which has the knockback. Clearance is traveling, and you just want to be doing that merciless, the merciless rotation almost, where you want to weave everything in between merciless. This is where merciless is important, is when you're at range. When you're close, I can just go right up to you, hit you with Flame Clench, Soul Harvest, and bam. Clearing will almost always proc at that point, and you're almost dead. If Zan's procs, then you're fucking screwed. If you have no high resistance to magic, flame, to anything of that regard. That's a 7k tick, that was an 8k tick, that was a 10k tick, that was an 11k tick, Jesus Christ. 11k, Battle Spirit cuts that in half. Ooh, we're looking at about a 4k tick per person, because they have resistances, so we are stripping them. So that's pretty fucking potent, and that's going on over a certain amount of time.